We're back, and it is the episode that follows, week 20 of our fantasy season? And this is a big week. We had a lot going on. There was a lot of important games. If you remember, we had 4 teams still vying for those last 4 playoff spots. Now, those 4 teams were not equally balanced in their pursuit of those spots. Some were pretty much locked it up, except for mathematically. And then we had somebody at the bottom who was just barely holding on, but had gone through weeks and weeks of continuing wins so that they would actually stay in the conversation. So let's just get to the game recaps. Let's just go straight to the game recaps. And the first one I want to go to is Arizona Diablos Blancos against Brick City Mules. If you remember, Arizona Diablos Blancos had not locked up a playoff spot yet, and we needed, ADB needed to win. If they won, they took care of business, they advance. Very simple. Now, I will say, and we're going to talk about this a little bit later, while most of the playoff spots have been locked up, there's still a lot of jockeying for position. And yeah, maybe there's not a huge difference between 9 and 10, let's say, but there's a lot of bye week spots to have. And I think almost as probably more important to those top tier teams are getting those bye week spots than some of those teams who are just barely holding on to playoffs. Anyway, I'm talking too much. First game, we go straight to ADB, and yes, they take care of business. They absolutely destroyed Brick City Mules. Brick City Mules must be distracted because they didn't even put up 300 points. Here we are 20 weeks in. We've had trades, we've had free agent pickups, we've had prospects getting promoted. There is no excuse not to score 300 points. Honestly, I don't even know if there's an excuse not to score 400 points. There's always injuries and such things, or taking a chance. Maybe also selling yourself out for next year. I get it. But I think 300 points has to be a minimum. And only scoring 290. Arizona Diablos Blancos showed us they are ready for the playoffs. They are clearly a playoff team and not just a bottom dweller. They scored 515 points, beat the snot out of Brick City Mules. And here we don't even want to go to the game. It was so ugly, we don't want to show the game. We're just going to show you Brick City Mules as they left the locker room that night, heading home. Okay, so now I'm going to go from our top seed of the 4 teams trying for playoff spot, and ADB locked it up, so now we only have one other playoff spot, and I'm going to go down to the bottom, the lowest probability, and this is Krusty Brand Baseball. I think they were sitting at maybe like a 5% chance. I don't really remember, but they had won for weeks straight, and this week they showed up, and you know what? They took care of business. Yep, Krusty won, and they did what they needed to do to continue to hold on to that playoff spot. But now we've got to go to the game that really determined everything. The other 2 teams right there between ADB and Krusty was Matt's Marauders and Bat Flippin' Boys. And this game had the biggest repercussions in the league this week on the playoff spot. We had Bat Flippin' Boys. It was simple. If Bat Flippin' Boys wins, a lot of stuff happened. If they won, ADB would get in. ADB took care of their own business. ADB is way, way, way too smart to rely on Bat Flippin' Boys for ADB's playoff spot. Bat Flippin' Boys also by a victory, sadly, and they did win. Bat Flippin' Boys wins 465 to 372 this week. And through that victory, Bat Flippin' Boys does distance themselves from Matt's Marauders because Bat Flippin' Boys also got a bonus win. With that bonus win, Matt's Marauders is eliminated, and sadly, a team that has done everything asked of them over the past several weeks, Krusty Brand Baseball, also gets eliminated. That one was sad. So anyway, we've got our playoff teams, and I'm going to get to that. But let's go through game recaps. Let's stay focused. No, actually, I take that back. We've got a couple of eliminations to talk about. we need to talk about these eliminations. First, what we said was Matt's Marauders, Bat Flippin' Boys, by way of the victory and the bonus win, Matt's Marauders has been eliminated.
Get off me! Y'all ain't nothing without me! I made your asses! You can't fire me! Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Y'all can't do me like this! You ungrateful son of a bitches!
And with Matt's Marauders elimination, I do think, I'll speak on behalf of all of Infinity Fantasy Baseball, we are sorry to see you leave. I mean, as Bat Flippin' Boys, I wasn't going to like throw the game so you could get in the playoffs in my spot, of course, but the entire league is sorry to see you go. It was a great season. I think the entire league enjoyed watching the Marauders persevere, coming out of a no-show, an auto draft, right? We talked about team auto draft, yet you were able to build a team, legitimately contend for a playoff spot. Some early games probably held you back. Otherwise, I think your team was good enough to get the playoff spot. But the best part, and I think it was even fun for our top tier teams, was like really what we should do is we should call you Mr. Upset, because the quality of the teams that you just destroyed, and I'm going to bring it up here because I want to go through this. I should have been prepared for this, but sadly, the monetization of this podcast has not gone according to my plans, even with bringing in some stellar interns. They're crap. I just say that because I want them to continue to work for free. And AI. So why can't I find this? Guys, I need some help. Put up on my screen. Give me Marauders. Get Marauders schedule on my screen. Okay, cool. Thanks. Here we go. So starting out of the gate, they lost 2, whatever. But let's just look at who they won, who they beat this year. Yeah, okay. No, they beat #Lawless Bearded Dragons. They beat ADB. They beat Redmine Redbirds. They beat Hit Pitches Get Bitches. They beat Walker Texas Ranger. They beat Raleigh Fingers Your Sister. Those are all playoff teams. Those teams I mentioned to you are all playoff teams. And top tier. Most of those are top tier playoff teams. And some of those, maybe they would beat twice had they had the luxury of a schedule that went up against them. But ironically, they lost to teams such as, whatever, I don't need to get into that. But anyway, Mr. Marauder, we miss you. And we did catch up with him and gave him the microphone to give us his parting thoughts.
I don't care anymore. I'm joking. I never did.
Oh. Let's cut that, because like after everything I just said about how the league is so really likes to support Mr. Marauder, and then that's what, anyway, just let's not let that get into the final cut, okay? I mean, nobody will even miss these like microphone recaps, the season recaps from the eliminated people. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Okay, so our second elimination of the week was Krusty, and like I said, it was sad because Krusty had won week in, taking care of their business. But they're out, and it is what it is.
Yesterday, I was up before the dawn, and I really have enjoyed my stay. Toby must be moving on.
Just like everybody else, we caught up, gave him the microphone, and didn't go quite as well as some of the others' thoughts, but I still have to air it. And this was Krusty's. These were Krusty's final words.
Take a deep breath, pal.
Okay, so we have our 2 eliminations, but we still have other games to talk about. And the next game I want to go to is one that's a lot of fun. It's Walker Texas Ranger. Walker Texas Ranger beats up on Redmine Redbirds, and it's not even that close. Redmine Redbirds had one of their worst games of the season. Walker Texas Ranger brought it when they needed to, and they're entering the playoffs the way a true contender wants to enter those playoffs.
Shoot on that, baby! Boom! Yes!
So yeah, I'm feeling for Red Wine Redbirds. That's not a good outing here 2 weeks from the playoffs. I guess they've got a bye week. They got time to figure out what's wrong, but I know this is not how they wanted to end the season. Everybody wants to finish strong, right? Let's move on. And the next one, talking about finishing strong, we're going to go straight to, hashtag lawless, nope. Hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons. And I know it's wrong. I know that name is not the correct pronunciation, and I made the mistake last season for those of you who are watching. And those were honest mistakes last season. I honestly didn't know. But now it's not such an honest mistake. The way this team has played this week, I think a hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons designation is the right one. They barely scored 400 points. They were a strikeout, basically. A hit turning into a strikeout away from Club 300. And they're playing Team TNT, one of our worst teams, or a team that is written off this season in favor of next. Hashtag, this, just like Red Wine, this is not how you want to be ending this season. But yeah, let's go to the game film.
You think we should be this far out? Stop worrying, Mark. We'll be fine.
Hey, I'm gonna eat y'all. I'm gonna eat that hairy leg. I'm gonna eat that one too. Hope I can see right up them shorts. I got a whole bunch of rows of teeth to chew you with. Dinah. Oh, now, wait a minute. I did have a chubby kid on a raft earlier today. It's okay, though. I've been swimming a lot lately. Yummy.
I mean, I guess you could say a win is a win. So, I can give you that. But there's the matter of bonus wins.
Get out of here.
Yeah, so hashtag, not only does hashtag not get the bonus win, but it ends their streak of 19 straight bonus wins. That was the epic streak. In fact, that is the defining point that hashtag repeatedly used to defend their claim that they should have the #1 power ranking spot. And now it's gone. And not only is it gone, but they almost were Club 300. So, it's got to hurt a little bit. I think, at this point, not earlier in the season, but this late in the season, certainly I was cheering for you. I think most of the league, I think ADB probably wasn't, but most of the league was cheering for you to hit a perfect bonus win record. But I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Fucking get your keys. Get your keys. Get your keys. You got a piece of Connor. John's fucking perfect.
All right. Moving on, we have what should have been the game of the week. Now, Matt's Marauders and Bat Flippin' Boys takes the designation of game of the week because it had playoff implications. This game, though, that I'm about to mention, in any normal universe, would have been the game of the week. Any other week of the season, this is your game of the week. And that's Grip It and Rip It playing up against Hit Pitches, Get Bitches. Both of these teams are basically mirroring each other as they go through this second half of the season. They both were in the beginning of the season and have turned it around through meticulous moves, perfect trades, excellent rostering, just like, the stuff that managers of the year are made out of. But in this game, in this week, in this moment, Hit Pitches, Get Bitches ends their 6-game win streak.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah! Can you feel that, buddy? Huh? I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
The final score is so close, 5-13 to 5-11. Any little move different by either team in this game is a different outcome. This game is so close that I don't think we can use this as indicative of anything that's going to happen in the playoffs. The question, though, is this enough to change the power rankings? I mean, beating our #1 to be the champion, you got to beat the champion, right? And right now, Hit Pitches, Get Bitches is #1 in the power rankings. we're going to have to see where that goes. I mean, even, I don't want to even rule out hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons because, yeah, they didn't get their bonus win, but I mean, does the power rankings care about that? They got to win. They got the important win. So, we have Grip It and Rip It and hashtag both winning. Hit pitches, get bitches, barely losing. Could have won just any little move on any other day. But anyway, I am way ahead of myself. But I am really looking forward to what these folks have done with the power rankings. All right, moving on to the next game. And what do we have? We've got Juneau Eskimos and Raleigh Fingers Your Sister. Again, a game that has relevance. We know, and I'm bringing it up here, we know these are two playoff teams. We knew that going into last week. We knew both of them had locked up playoff spots. So this is going to tell us a little bit about maybe which team's better are ready for the postseason. And in this case, it was a marginally close game. I think it wasn't embarrassing by either team, but Juneau Eskimos comes out on top, 452 to 428. Freeze! And Raleigh Fingers continues their slide into mediocrity. Now we have Raleigh Fingers Your Sister sliding from, I think, the number one spot in the power rankings at one point, like an epically good team, into mediocrity. The other team I want to mention, and I'm not going to dwell on Red Wine Redbirds and hashtag because they still are epically good, near the top of everything, right? But the team I want to mention in the Raleigh Fingers Your Sister conversation is Bat Flippin' Boys. Bat Flippin' Boys was near the top in the Everyone vs. Everyone standing many weeks ago. They were a solid number 5, number 6. They were just on the cusp of power rankings notoriety. They had a solid team. And at some point, weeks ago, they decided that they weren't a real contender and they decided to make some trades to tee them up for next year. We'll see how that goes because those were some very expensive players they added. But I don't want to let them off the hook because I am going to have some shirts made up and send them out to both Bat Flippin' Boys and Raleigh Fingers Your Sister. Here's your shirts, and yeah, for these two. Yeah, not a season to remember, guys. Not a season to remember. Both of you are playoff teams. I get it, and you can always use that as your point of bragging. But you guys know that you really don't belong there. You know that you are a recipient of a 10-team playoff, where really it's looking like teams 9 and 10. They should not be in the playoffs. They should not. Anyway, good luck in the first round. You're both going to lose. The only way you don't lose in the first round is if you play each other. Sorry. We have one more game to talk about. And let me just verify that. Yep, we've talked about everything else, but we have to talk about our hottest team and our coldest team. They played each other. It's not fair. It's not fair this late in the season that these two teams are playing each other. One, we know you're good. The other one, why rub salt in the wound? Breaking Brad destroys Team J to the P, 521 to 354. Don't know what to say much about that. Here's some game film.
To see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before.
All right, so that's it for the game recaps. We talked about some eliminations. We talked about some teams clinching. And yeah, so we also have no Club 600. Nobody made Club 600 this week. Yeah, that caught me by surprise. I thought somebody might. A lot of Club 500s, like I said, we're not giving anybody credit for Club 500 anymore. I will say the team that came closest was Breaking Brad at 521. So as you can see, nobody really even came close. So we now know what our playoffs look like. And yeah, there was a celebration. They didn't wait to the end of the season because everything's locked in as to who's making the playoffs, where they're seated. That's secondary. But everybody got together and had a good celebration about clinching a playoff spot.
You like this. In the vibe clocked in, feeling good, I'm lit. Counting bands, man, that's I'm sick, going ham, diamonds jam all on my wrist. Run it, if I want, I go. I'm my own boss, shorty, I do what I want. Me worry about others, truth is I don't. It's always hate people that be doing the most, okay? I like this, got the vibe plugged in, feeling good, I'm lit. Counting bands on, man.
Yeah, it was good to see that they all were able to like cut loose a little bit and just sort of like just at least take that moment to have some fun, because this is going to get stressful as we move forward for those folks. But there is something. I'm going to go to the standings. Let's go to the standings real quick. And I'm not even going to talk about the Eastern Division. That's pretty much in play. We'll talk a little bit about this in a second, but I want to point out something here that is pretty interesting. We are now going into the last week of the season, and we have a three-way tie over in the Western Division. We have Hit Pitches, Get Bitches holding on to that number 2 spot as a tiebreaker. Walker Texas Ranger in the second, tied there. And Grip It and Rip It also tied. We have a three-way tie over there. Now, ESPN has its tiebreaker things, and we'll get into that a little bit. But what I really wanted to point out here, and this is absolutely amazing to me. So these three teams are basically, after all of these games and bonus wins and stuff, they're the same, right? They are same. But it gets more interesting. And I don't know if this has ever happened in fantasy baseball history. After so many games and matchups and injuries and roster moves and free agent pickups and waiver wire ads and waiver wire denials, all of that. After all of that, we come down to Walker Texas Ranger and Grip It and Rip It. All of that. 9,146 points. They have the same points. They're tied for second in their division. Right now, it's just amazing to me that two teams, after all that time, winds up with the same record and the same points for. I mean, seriously, 9,146 points, tied. Same record. Unbelievable to me. Anyway, just thought that was interesting. Thought I'd point that out there. Also, I want to say a big pre-congratulations to Hit Pitches, Get Bitches, who is 199 points away from joining Club 10,000 points. So that is a major milestone for Hit Pitches, Get Bitches. I don't see anybody else. Let me just take a look here. Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody else is going to reach it this week. After Hit Pitches, Get Bitches, Grip It and Rip It would need to score 854 points. It's not going to happen. So this is a pre-congratulations to Hit Pitches, Get Bitches for almost certainly going to hit it this week. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Also, Hashtag and Redwine did hit 10,000 points in the past. I think Hashtag did it some time ago, and Redwine did it this past week. So yeah, I mean, the two of them are in there as well. But Hit Pitches, Get Bitches is going to be there at the end of this next week. So that'll be fun for the three of them. All right, so something I've been wanting to do for a while, just out of curiosity, boredom, whatever, is I wanted to do a segment based on comparing our Infinity teams to MLB teams of the 2024 season. So basically looking at winning percentages, and there's a way to like normalize our winning percentages and MLB's so that we can actually do a comparison. So I went in, and yes, I used ChatGPT to try to do this for me. And the obvious thing that came out, and I do not want to say this out loud because it just makes Redwine Redbirds and Hashtag that much more whatever. But the two of them, their records are so much higher and winning percentages so much better than the rest of us that normalizing it with them being included just didn't work. It just blew everything up. Basically, everybody became the Chicago White Sox. So instead of that, they basically graduate into, elite stardom or whatever. They are not included in this. So they are above. They are currently playing better than obviously every team in 2024. And if I tried to include them, everybody looks like the Chicago White Sox. So that's what we see here. They've been eliminated. They are not in this comparison. Sorry, guys, but you're just too good. So we get down here, and what you see is all the way down on the right-hand side is the Infinity winning percentages normalized this year's MLB. So we got those top 3 teams. They're all the Philadelphia Phillies. Makes sense. Philadelphia has the highest winning percentage in the league, so that's where we baselined it. And then we go on down. Breaking Brad is the equivalent of this year's Boston Red Sox. Juneau Eskimos, Raleigh Fingers Your Sister, are St. Louis Cardinals. I took a little bit of liberties here. I could have said Tampa Bay Rays, but the Cardinals seemed a bit more fun. Arizona Diablos Blancos, Pittsburgh Pirates, Bat Flippin' Boys look like the Texas Rangers, Krusty and Matt's Marauders look like the Marlins. You can see we're still in the middle of the pack, just outside our playoffs, and we're at Marlins level. Brick City Mules, you are the Chicago White Sox. Congratulations. And Team TNT, Sour Grapes, and J to the P, your winning percentages were so low it wasn't even possible to compare you to an MLB team. And like, don't start getting confused about that. No team below 240. I shouldn't have put that in there. That's basically the normalized winning percentage. So anyway, that's that. But it's not over, because we've got a situation here where I wanted more. So I went back and I said, in the entire MLB modern era, how do our teams compare? That also allowed me to bring in those elite 2, hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons and Red Wine Redbirds. And I can already hear hashtag watching this being like, saying something like, I'm so good that you couldn't even include me in this comparison, yet I still don't get the #1 power ranking. And yeah, I don't know what to say to that. Anyway, so let's look. Now, MLB modern era. Here's the comparisons. You can go down and look through that. I don't know that anybody here really knows what the 1912 Philadelphia Phillies were doing and all, but whatever. Oh, spelling mistake in there on Brick City Mules, Chicago White Sox, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's, Red Wine Redbirds is looking like the 42 Dodgers. Got a bunch of teams in there. The 2020 Cubs, 1925 Cardinals for Breaking Brad. Anyway, you can go on down through that list. But again, we've never had a team in the history of MLB modern era normalized to our league that are as bad as Team TNT, ALD3 Sour Grapes, and Team J to the P. I didn't do this to point that out. I just found it interesting as I went through this. Maybe I should have baselined from the bottom up. Maybe that's the way. I don't know. But we're not done. We have one more thing. Because there's so many Cardinal fans in this group, I went ahead and baselined it to the St. Louis Cardinals, modern era Cardinals. Hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons and Red Wine, you're included again. Bearded Dragons, you are the 42 Cardinals. That's Mr. Stan and the man and all sorts of legends. Red Wine Redbirds, 2015 Cardinals. It was a good team. Didn't go far, but they were a good team. Grip It, Hit Pitches, Texas, 2017 Cardinals. Yeah, good teams. Again, good teams, just didn't do what we wanted them to do. Breaking Brad, you're the 97 Cardinals. You can see here we're starting to get into mediocrity. Juneau Eskimos and Raleigh Fingers Your Sister, your 1990 Cardinals. This was kind of the doldrums, right? We get down in there. Arizona, you're the 1912. Bat Flippin' Boys, the 1919. I don't even know what the 1919 Cardinals were all about. So we're getting down into like who knows, who cares. We get all the way down to Brick City Mules, and there is no comparison anymore. There's never been a Cardinals team that was anywhere near the level of Brick City Mules, Team TNT, ALD3 Sour Grapes, and Team J to the P is to the Infinity League. That relationship on where they sit in our standings, the Cardinals have never been down that far, so there's no comparison. Anyway, I was just curious, kind of disappointed, didn't really reveal anything, but I thought I'd take 120 seconds and share it with you. All right, it is power rankings time, and this is probably the biggest blow up of the power rankings all season. We had just so much happen this past week. Red Wine Redbirds loses again. They've lost 3 of their 4 last games. They've lost 4 of 6. It is, they are losing to playoff teams as well. So This is tough. They are not bringing their best game as we're getting closer and closer to the postseason. Hopefully they're rested up by the time we get there. We had a hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons. What happened there? I have no idea. No bonus win. No 20-week streak going there. They're struggling. I mean, those two teams need to get their shit together for the playoffs. The good news is we've heard that they have, because they've locked up next week, we got some film. They are working it out. They are actually training together this week, taking the week off. Got some clips here from their playoff prep.
What's that, White? Time went out of womb.
All right. We also have hit pitches, get bitches. A favorite of this podcast, losing to Grip It and Rip It. I think there's a great rivalry between those two developing here. It is just epic. We're going to see where that goes as we get into the postseason. That's fun. We see Walker Texas Ranger bringing it. We see there's all sorts of things happening here, and I don't even know where to start. I have no idea where to start. We're going to get rid of the bottom of the power rankings. We have, we've eliminated lots of teams. There's no reason to start knocking people at this point for being in the last place. So let's get straight into the power rankings. And at number 5, what's going on there? Yes, it's a tie. We have a tie.
The King and Chick rounding turn 4. And down the stretch they come.
So Red Wine Redbirds should feel fortunate that they're still in the top 5. They were not eliminated. Walker Texas Ranger is deserving of a spot. It's at the end of the season. It doesn't matter as much right now, or maybe it matters more. I don't know. I'm not using my veto. I'm not knocking Red Wine Redbirds out of the top 5. They've shown us all season they deserve to be in there. We'll give them one more week to show us that they are deserving. But man, the competition is getting tough there. Let's see. Number 4. What do we got going on with number 4? And this, Breaking Brad. Breaking Brad is our number 4 team. And what can you say about Breaking Brad? Having an epic run here at the end of the season. I think the league was just so relieved that Breaking Brad started weak and thought maybe that would continue. But no, we now have a monster on our hands. And here, I put a little clip together for you. This is a service that this podcast does occasionally.
Listen up! There is a storm coming! Like nothing you have ever seen! And not a one of you is prepared for it!
I am the storm that is approaching.
So let's recap. Number 5, we had a tie. It's Walker Texas Ranger and Red Wine Redbirds.
Oh.
Hey, Peter, what's up?
Oh, hey, Quagmire. Just taking the family on vacation.
Oh, that's good. Oh, hang on a second. I'm stuck behind some fat ass driving too slow. Come on, stupid, move it!
Now, hang on, Quagmire. Some jerk behind me is honking his horn.
Oh, you should totally flip him off. Oh, hang on a sec. Some fat ass just flipped me off. Hey, up yours, you jerk!
Hang on, Quagmire. I gotta kick this guy's ass.
Yeah, I gotta kick this guy's ass.
Hey, I'll call you back after the fight.
Yeah, me too.
Good luck in yours.
Good luck in yours.
Number 4, Breaking Brad, The Storm. Coming in at number 3. Wait a second. I'm looking at this. I like this guy. I like this. You're right. Let's not. So I'm getting a message here about our number 3, basically saying that this late in the season with so much at stake, our top 3 there's just too much parity. There's just too much. And they're not willing to, split atoms to try to figure out which of these three are our top 3 teams in order. So what they're going to do, even though hashtag had a weak week, even though Hit Pitches Get Bitches had a pretty weak week and a loss at least. Grip It and Rip It is on a roll. Grip It and Rip It has won 7 in a row. Like, how are they not? That's just phenomenal, right? I know that, granted, they did only win by 2, so it's not a definitive win. To be the champion, you got to beat the champion. But when you beat the champion by 2, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, 7-game win streak. Nice. Those were all of the people that they've beaten, the teams they've beaten the last seven weeks. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull one from the file. Nope. No dance off. Nope. We don't repeat shticks here. Instead, we're going with the tried and true. I think they've done this in the NFL when they have ties. I'm not sure. Each contestant has been asked to send a video of them in a hobby horse race. This is competitive hobby horse time. They're competitive hobby horsing. First, we're going to do Hit Pitches, Get Bitches. This is the video she sent us of her competition. I think that looked. I don't know what we're doing here. Okay. Next, we're gonna go with Grip It and Rip It. No good reason on the order here, but let's just see what Grip It and Rip It, what they have.
Would be long, they was with me, yeah me, and I could tell it wouldn't be long, they was with me, yeah me, singing I love rock and roll.
Excellent form, just stellar form. I like that the shoulders were square, the chin was up, the eyes exuded confidence. That was a good run. But Hit Pitches, Get Bitches, the form was there, the speed was there with Hit Pitches, Get Bitches. So I don't really know what to... Anyway, let's get to our third contestant. Let's see what hashtag Lawless sent in.
Take me home, I wanna ride it, and roll alone, ride it, just lose control, ride it, my soul, ride it, make you...
What was that? What in the world did you send in? What in the hell was that? Okay, give us a second to deliberate. Okay, we have made a decision, and I think it's obvious who our number 3 is, and that is hashtag Lawless Bearded Dragons.
Well, that's the story of my life. No respect. I got no respect.
And we move on to the number 1 and number 2 spot. Always exciting to see how this plays out. And with it, after much deliberation, exceptional hobby horse riding, we have this. And that is right. Grip It and Rip It takes the lead, winds up in the number 1 spot. First time in Grip It and Rip It League franchise history. Excellent job, Grip It and Rip It. 7 in a row, taking down Hit Pitches, Get Bitches when you needed to. Just loving it. Just absolutely loving it. Bringing your A game at the end of the season. I don't necessarily think you're going to repeat it with Hit Pitches, Get Bitches, but I'm also not saying that you won't repeat it. I guess what I'm saying is outside of you and Hit Pitches, folks got work to do. Folks got work to do. There are 8 teams that need to work to find a way to get through the 2 of you in this in this postseason. So anyway, final week of the season. Don't know what to say. Good luck to everybody. I guess I'm going to wish Juneau Eskimos luck. I don't know if I care if I win or lose. I would really like to play Raleigh Fingers, your sister, as my first team in the playoffs, but too much randomness. I'm not going to figure this out. So everybody have a good time. Good week. Good final game of your regular season. Please set your lineups. I think that's really important. And it'd be great if folks would also set their lineups once we get into the playoffs. We're going to get clarification from our commissioner on when the lockdown of moves, like basically add drops, add drops, when that occurs, if that occurs at the end of the regular season or when you get eliminated. Yeah. Good luck, everybody. Hope you get the seeding in the playoffs you want. And I hope to see you next week.
Goodbye, Tin Man.
Goodbye, Dorothy.
Goodbye, Lion.
Goodbye, Dorothy.
And I think I'll miss you most of all, Scarecrow.
Oh, okay. It's kind of an odd thing to say.
Yeah, sort of a weird comment right in front of all of us.
Kind of thought this was a team effort.
Yeah, really glad I risked my life and everything.
Yeah, you're like 5 minutes from gone and you leave with that?
Yeah.
You know, that's like cutting a huge fart and then walking out of the room. And that's how we'll remember you. As a big fart.
Goodbye, big fart.
Oh, man. Hey, you honestly don't think I'm funny? Just me. Not talking about those guys.
You've honestly never said one thing I have ever found at all funny, bro.